lessons. But no, obviously, Fringe CTF going to be game number 2. Can E6 bring it back? Guys, I obviously got to mention it is obviously a best of 3. So, winning that first map is just as, or if not, even more important in a best of 3 since you are now on match point technically. So, we got the players in the game. I believe we're getting ready to start things up. Ban and Protect phase for game number 2. Fringe CTF, the squads, E6 Gold, and Team Liquid. Chance, what are we seeing so far?
Well, Shiva gonna get taken out very quickly again, and we saw Study using it earlier. He can be incredibly terrifying with it, and that might actually be why Study went to protect the M8. If they're going to get rid of one of his favorite assault rifles, he's going to make sure to at least have the other. So again, that's going to be the role that we expect him to have. And then, of course, the Afterburn Protect, again coming out of Team Liquid. That is the 3rd time I've seen them do this. Not too sure how important wall running is going to be on this map, especially in comparison to something like evac, but of course, especially around that train area, that is going to be very, very consistent. And then, of course, not too much of a surprise, each team electing to take out one tactical, and then Overdrive gets the boot as well.
Yeah, see, like you said, smoke screens, flashbangs, tacticals being shut down in Overdrive, which completely changes the tide of an uplink or a CTF, whichever in that game 3 and game 4, absolutely, because the Overdrive kind of propels you, obviously get you in the enemy's base, get the flag out. It's basically kind of like a complete game changer, to be realistic. But in the end, it is Rapid Fire banned by Apathy and Dito getting rid of that active camo. I think interesting. It's really interesting about active camo because it's so useful in every game type. Hard point, search and trade really doesn't matter because it's always useful, always kind of used for a particular purpose, and you're going to see that one not being used for this game number 2.
I think active camo is probably one of the things that people were most iffy about, and now everyone's kind of leaning towards it's absolutely incredible. But I know at least during the qualifier there was a lot of talk about how useful is it actually going to be. Like maybe it can work in S&D, but the respawns is that effective? But we have found out very quickly that the powers of invisibility are incredibly helpful. They get used quite a bit. Also going to be worth pointing out, we have a vision pulse coming in from Merc as well, and that's something that we don't see all too often.
Yeah, but I think when it comes to CTF, though, Vision Pulse can be incredibly useful. When it's kind of coming down to the maybe the last couple seconds of a game, you pop that, you know exactly where the opposition is, and especially if you're in overtime or something, in a very crucial situation, I think Vision Pulse can absolutely give your team a massive advantage because obviously that ping does happen. While you do give your position away, that can kind of set up your teammates. Knowing exactly where the opposition is in their own base is something that has never really happened in a Call of Duty title before, obviously, but I think Vision Pulse can definitely come into use for Merc without a doubt.
Well, I'm going to try and make sure that I can get a good view of Merc when he is going to be using that specialist, of course. It could just be a thing where he pings it and everybody's like, oh, I know exactly where he is. But we have seen teams do that in the past where, as soon as you ping the Vision Pulse, they know where the original player is, but he can now call out everyone that he pings out and the other players begin to rush in. So there's a lot of different ways that you can use Vision Pulse effectively, but, having wall hacks is never going to be a bad thing. But either way, things to look out for. That first original flag cap to me is going to be the most important thing.
Right.
And is anything crazy going to happen? I know the trip mines didn't get banned, the C4 didn't get banned because C4 can be incredibly useful. You just leave that on the flag and then you don't even have to pull the trigger. It just tells you when they're there. You can just lock down a lane with C4 and just know and count off every single time a player walks by. It is an incredibly powerful thing to have in your arsenal, and of course that potentially is still going to be in play.
It is absolutely, and we're obviously getting ready to hop into the game. The score streaks being edited from the players, and right now I'm going to ask you, Chance, predictions. I know we're getting kind of things done pretty early, but predictions for Fringe CTF. Who are you favoring? I know obviously Liquid off of a good start here, but coming into game 2, who are you favoring? E6 Gold? Are you going to say it's going to go to game 3? Or are you thinking Liquid's going to close it out here?
It's weird. It really is. I watch more of the Pro League than anything else, and if you look at all the teams in the Pro League for the CDF category, it's pretty much 50-50 for everyone. I think Luminosity is the only exception, and they are a very good CTF team. But otherwise, it almost seems like it's just kind of up in the air. It's very dependent on the individual game, and it's one of those things that's very tough to call. Just because one big play can change the entirety of the game. One clutch flag cap or flag stop can be the deciding factor. So when it comes down to just those moments, it can always go either way. It's just going to be about who is more clutch in the moment.
It is indeed. We obviously are hopping into game number 2. Best of 3 currently going on between Liquid and E6. We're going to start off with Mr. Burnsoff. Had a fantastic game with that Vesper in game number 1. We'll see how he kind of fares with it in this next game, as you're most likely to see trains be a very, very useful part of this map. One of the main 3 lanes, or one of the lanes, obviously, of the 3 when it comes to this map. Very, very useful in those clutch situations. Grabbing an uplink drone, grabbing a CTF flag, going to be very big as 2 drop early on for the side of E6, and this is going to be Burns kind of carefully pushing up toward their base and trying to make sure that they don't get caught off guard, I guess, essentially.
Yep, definitely appears that Liquid is going to be going for that methodical route. You see Burns is working in tandem with the player in the back of the map. It looks like that was Merc, and Merc is actually going to get dropped. Or maybe that was Apathy working with him. Apathy is going to get taken down by a nade, but Burns is going to be able to get that trade. Going to be able to touch the flag, if not just for a second, and then Swarley is going to roll in and pick up a 2-piece. Meanwhile, though, Assault's going to pick up the flag himself. He's able to get to top barn. He's got a bit of clearance as well. Looks like there's going to be players that are chasing him down, but already that looks like a flag cap. You see Silly able to get that first cutoff kill, and unless Assault gets sniped in the back, which is not the case, that is going to be a 1-0 flag lead already for E6 within the very first minute of the game.
Yeah, we saw a great play there from E6. Had 2 players in the base. Those guys just kind of went through broken, or I guess you'd say just through the opposite side of the map, went through bricks and had a guaranteed flag cap, but they were kind of escape with that one and made their way through an early flag cap going to the side of E6. Now, Liquid's obviously a very aggressive team. I think that kind of caught them off guard. They really, the push just didn't work out for them in the end. And now there's going to be a lot of players right now in the E6 base. Apathy trying to maybe do a little bit of work here as he ends up getting weeded out. So kind of unfortunate there as Team Liquid forcing their way forward, but just not anything working out in their favor up to this point.
Well, really nice job by E6 all the way around. They made sure to get the counter cap, and as soon as they capped that flag, you see all 4 players were very intent on just staying in their base, hanging around that Grandma's area to get the defensive stand. And as soon as they got all the kills down, as soon as everyone from Liquid was out of their base, that's when they made their move and started pushing up trains. Of course, now that they're doing so, they're going to be running into Apathy, who is able to pick up 1, but still pretty much a 50-50 map split. We're just going to see who's more aggressive. So far, we saw Liquid push into the base first, but they did so in a methodical fashion, and E6 made them pay.
Yeah, Assault obviously can be the main AR anchor, I guess you could say, when it comes to CTF. Actually has that 1 cap. I didn't actually realize that was him at the time, so him kind of forcing his way forward is something not really that's going to be in his regular play style. He obviously is 5-0 to start those score streaks. They might be trying to wait for him to grab those, which could be very, very useful, but Silly drops inside of trains, and now it's going to be Liquid pushing their way up yet again as Merc going to find possibly 1 player inside of 10. As this is just finding the players 3 down now for E6, and this is a great push getting ready to come from Liquid. Apathy trying to guard over his player Burns, and this could be a flag out. If Silly drops, and he does, this one should be 1 sending home for Liquid. Burns with the flag.
Yep, just going to turn into an absolute foot race. Dito's the one leading the charge. Actually, the streaks are coming in as well, and that might be effective. Dito's going to be coming around the corner, goes for the flagpole himself. Both those players in barn. Gets out the heat wave. I don't know if he stunned anybody or not. He is away still with the flag. He is 1 shot. He is surrounded by 3 players. Gets the kill with the Elcar. He's going to be able to escape with his life. They do not hunt him down, and Assault picked up a kill as well. So E6 making all of the plays, of course. That is going to be Burns, the only one alive on the flag, but the teammates are spawning up. But we have our first stalemate of the match, and I have no idea how E6 pulled that off.
I have no idea how Dito got to the base. Like, the heat wave came in, I think it stunned everyone in kind of that general area, and he was able to escape, grabbed a kill, I believe, with his Elcar 9, and kind of just hightailed it out of there. So that was a very, very big play out of Dito's. He's able to stay alive, and he's going to be in the back, and it looks like Assault trying to maybe read that flag back. He's going to drop. Swarley making his way forward as he also falls. So this is Liquid sitting a couple players forward, trying to maybe get that flag into play. As this stalemate could last a little bit of time, but Merc might actually spot the player just to his left. He does. Can he find the kill? It will work out. That vision pulse might come into use here. He realizes that this 1 player is the guy that we're looking for, as those players are going to be in back silos, Liquid and E6, like you said, in that stalemate.
Be the perfect time to use it. Has about 3 players surrounding him, but he's going to get dropped very quickly by Silly. So still pretty much a split. It looks like Liquid is going to be pushed up the most aggressively, and that's going to be Study, but Silly is going to be there to take him down. Got to give credit to Assault, by the way. He is sitting at 10-2, and he's also helping Dito out when they were able to get that counter pull out. But now it's all about who's going to be able to make this clutch play. With 30 seconds left, if anyone can get that clutch return, that could be a definite game changer. E6 could start to blow the game out a little bit, or Liquid could tie it up. Of course, those Silly did get sniffed out, and now Liquid. You see how they're pushing up the map, too. Merc is coming straight up mid. They have a player coming through chains and 1 player going through tin as well. So you see everyone right now for E6 just turtled up. They're accepting the 1-0 flag lead, if that is going to be the case. And, of course, Dito just as far back as can possibly be. With the ICR as well, he kicked it off with the XR2. Now he's switching up the ARs once again, but it is going to be E6 with the 1-0 lead going into side number 2.
It will be a last chance opportunity kind of for Liquid. Kind of sent 3 players forward, left the player in the back to kind of hold on to that one, hoping that they could possibly even it up. But E6 said not today. Swarley going to be your final kill cam, picking this last kill up with the VMP. As that's going to do it, like you said, E6, that early flag definitely kind of ruling in their favor. Is, like you said, in CTF, that first flag cap means so much. It's really the momentum changer in the entire game. It's not at all like uplink. You're going to see a lot less scores go down. It just happens to be in the side of E6. And looks like as we go on Assault, he's going to have the side. He has that Lightning Strike and also the HDXD car ready when he needs it, as that could come in definitely favorable to them as the game kind of moves forward.
Well, you see one HC car got called in, so Assault decided to counter the HC with the HC. And, well, he knows there's a player over by trains, but the HC, weirdly enough, is going to be pinned down because as soon as he pushes, he's probably going to get shot. That's the case, and, of course, it gets hunted down. But still, Assault is going to be trying to utilize that information to the best of his abilities, but gets that kill on Apathy. Still, though, nothing too exciting going down for the moment, although E6 is able to pick up 2 kills, and now they're going to start to push for further map control.
There, indeed, Assault going to be a main player to be watching out for as he ends up falling. Study and Merc doing the work as they might push their way forward as well. Merc going to have one player just to his left. Will he check this corner? He does not, but I believe that timing almost came into play as Merc narrowly ends up dropping. So a couple players from E6 holding down their bases. They're going to be kind of, in a way, turtling in their base currently. And Dito needs to find this kill. He has the L card out, switches back to the ICR. His teammate will end up dropping that player. It's a little bit of a sweat off the brow for a time being, but that flag has been ran. Apathy trying to bring this one back. He's got the one through middle, and can he escape with this one? He's running through middle right now. Can he stay alive? As it will be ran through Apathy, having his teammates going big. All 3 of them drop, but it does not matter. He gets away with the flag, and it's going to be 1-1 as Liquid bring it back.
Silly, though, going to be trying to make the counter cap pull. He is going to get taken down by Study. Study was able to pick up 2. Dito is going to be there. He's going to be trying to make moves as well. He's on a bit of a streak, on that 5 streak, actually, with that ICR LCAR9 combo, but Burns with that submachine gun, going to be able to take him down. So Liquid doing onto E6 what E6 did onto them, making sure to stop that counter cap from coming in, playing defense in the base after you get that score.
Absolutely. You might see a couple players might try to turtle back here. E6 is not a team that always wants to kind of push forward. They got a little bit lucky early on with Tito being able to stay alive and get that flat cap in early on. But E6 is more of a team that likes to get back in their base, maybe get a little those specialists up and get those score streaks in use as Burns gets gifted a kill there over in the side of Tool. And Liquid are going to be constantly pushing. They feel like they're the more dominant slaying team, I guess you could say, at least when it came to that first hard point. That flag being grabbed by Burns doesn't work out too well as E6 yet again getting those score streaks, getting their, I can say, specialists in use, and slowly but surely pushing their way forward.
Well, that's going to be 2 down in favor of Liquid. So they're going to start making moves up trains. There's actually 3 players just going on the swarm. Dito's going to have quite a bit to deal with. Looks like he's able to take down that Scythe and then Nade getting a kill as well. Of course, that flag is going to get pulled by Merc. Merc able to run through this top barn area. He might be able to get a clean break as well. You see there's quite a few red arrows chasing him. He's probably going to need to win 1 gunfight. He knows this. He turns around. The heat wave comes in once again. Second time we've seen that. This time, though, it's not going to be as successful. Merc still has that flag, and it looks like they're going to be able to put this one through. Liquid taking that 2-1 flag lead with 2 minutes left on this side of CTF.
Beautiful play there from Liquid as we did see that very solid push for them. Basically come in, not leaving anyone in their base, and they realized the players were down in that vision pulse. Coming in there from Merc, a little bit interesting to use it at that current situation. Picks up 1, he picks up the 2nd. Definitely working out in his favor. As like we said, when the flags have been ran from Liquid especially, they always have 3 or 4 players watching their flag carriers back, making sure that he does not fall. And if he does, there's always 1 player there to trade. And it's obviously worked out in their favor up to this point. 2-1 in favor of Liquid. Minute and 30 to work with. E6, possibly the last minute and 30 of this series for them.
Yeah, E6 is going to have to start getting relatively aggressive. They don't have much time to work with. They have 3, maybe 4 pushes left in them. And, well, you see Burnsoff is able to pick up 1 kill. Study's going to be there for the next. Silly and Assault are the last ones up. It's not like they need to go for miracle plays at this moment, but they can't allow Liquid to do anything too crazy. And, well, Silly going to have a good start to this. He's able to pick up 2. There is right now a player from Liquid that's going to be on the flank trying to hunt them down. It looks like that's actually going to be Merc. Merc was able to pick up 1, still hanging out in this train's area. Turns and gets the 2nd as well. So Silly picks up 2. Merc makes sure to get that trade as well. So just 57 seconds left for E6 to go crazy. You see Psychosis came in, but Dito gets shut down straight away. And even if Dito was able to pull that flag, his teammates were nowhere to be found. And Liquid looks like they're in a pretty good position to hold on unless E6 can do something crazy once again.
You have to pull off something incredible. Is they're going to need maybe like a 4-man push. Merc able to spot 1. The kinetic armor almost coming in from Silly. He's able to manage to take him out either way. HGXD car to the face of Merc as Dito is able to shut him down. So this is a last-second opportunity here from E6. They have 4 men up. Liquid with 1 player down currently. That is Merc. Can E6 possibly get the flag out of Team Liquid's base? It's not looking to be possibly likely. As Apathy's trying to hold this one down. Last possible kill. Let's get ready to go down as Apathy picks him up, and that possibly could do it as the final kill commence here. As that's looking to be game. One player though in the base, and Apathy absolutely destroying toward the end of the game. Liquid getting hype in the booth as they end up commencing the 2-0 versus E6 Gold.
Players leaving the game as well. They are not happy about that performance. We thought it was going to be a pretty close game. The hard point was not so much, about a 100-point differential between these two teams. The CTF was a lot closer. We saw some big plays coming out of the guys on E6, but in the end, Liquid was just too strong, looking pretty good in all game modes.
Absolutely. We saw them have a dominant performance in that first hard point. I believe it was 250 to 155, kind of showing how talented these guys are at slaying. They've had a couple issues, really close games, but, they came out victors. And, E6 Gold, it's the first loss, I believe, of the open bracket up to this point, so they are going to have a different opportunity. They're not out of the open bracket just yet, but Liquid continues on their perfect streak as they look to be one of the most dominant teams that we have currently in the open bracket.
Yep, and I do believe they are moving on to the semifinals.